You ready?
Yes.
Everyone, we're about ready to get started. Right before you actually called me to order, just ask you to join us in a moment for a moment of praise or reflection about the gifts we've been given, the country we live in, and the God we serve. Take a moment. Thank you, guys. It's 5 o'clock. Guys, we'll go ahead and call this Urbana Board of Trustees meeting to order. August 19th, 5. Guys, let's go ahead. I want to ask you, everyone to stand and join. Ask you to join us in the pledge here. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Guys, Sandy's giving us 2 sets of minutes to look at. We got the July 15th minutes and the special August 2nd
August
minutes.
5th.
I'm sorry, August 5th. August 5th, excuse me. July 15th and August 5th special meeting minutes to look at. Do you guys have any additions or corrections to either sets of minutes?
No.
No, sir. You also have been given a financial status report to look at. Have you guys had a chance to review that?
Yeah.
You guys have any additions or corrections to that?
No, sir.
No, I'd entertain a motion to accept all three. 15th and the 5th minutes and the status report.
So moved.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes and the status reports. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All approved. Okay, go into zoning cemetery. I meant you have a copy of Sean's.
Yeah, I believe I do. Not sure what I did with it, but. Did you sign off on these? So
I will.
here's the July 15, and here is the August 5. And then, oh, Sean's thing is right here in front of me. So yes, I have that. That's the August 5th one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the only thing on reports on Richard on the road maintenance, we went out today and got 5 more roads trimmed around poles and risers and signs. He's gonna start mowing again, road mowing again tomorrow, so it'll probably take 3 to 4 days. And then just the typical stuff.
Larry, that's the 4th time that you guys,
This will be the 4th time.
that we mow for the
Yeah, and it should be,
spring, summer.
and we should have one more at the
One
end-
more after this.
at end of season, once the crops are off, to mow everything completely back.
So average about 5 times.
5 to 6, it just depends on the
Just
weather.
depends on the growth, okay.
Yeah, depends on the weather. So anyway, guys, we're gonna switch over from reports. We got a couple people here. Mark, I know you signed in first, but do you mind if I let Chief jump in front of you? Because we'll get him out of here too. Chief Dean, would you mind?
Yes, thank you. So I have your quarter reports.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, stand up. Thanks, Chief.
The first page is the page that I give to our city council, and that's our quarterly report. Sorry, Roger. Stuck. the second back page is your guys' statistics there. Somebody else put it in there? If you want it. And I'd be interested in entertaining any of your questions you might have to the report or anything else. Sandy, is that a new picture of you up there?
No, it's been there 4 years. Maybe not quite four, but yeah.
Chief, the EMS runs are almost identical.
It is. So that's, I think the more that you have of something, the more you can trend it. I think when it comes to fire and rescue, it's harder to trend, and a lot of that becomes seasonal too. The one there, the one actual fire that we had was there, if you remember, was off of 29 by Holmes Road.
Oh, I see.
Structure fire that we had. Township. Yeah, I noticed that too. If I remember right, it was like 95, 93.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah. Well, Chief, if we can look at this and we get back at you for any questions.
Anytime. Well, you know, Blair, I'm always open to anything you have. I'll get to that.
Gotcha.
Any questions or anything, Roger?
No, I'm good, thanks,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Matt? Anything?
No, sir. It's just nice to see this every
We'll try to
quarter.
be as transparent as possible.
Very good.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Chief, thank you, sir.
Seen more this last couple weeks
Yeah.
than I usually see you.
Yes.
Good or bad, I don't know if
Yes,
that's a
good.
good thing.
Good seeing you. You guys take care.
See ya.
Thanks, Chief.
Mark, you're next up.
Where would you
Again,
like me to be?
Mark, you can stand here, you can come up and sit, you can do whatever you do. Again, I just want to remind you of a 5-minute limit here on this.
Again, I'm Mark Schuler. I'm with a company called RWE. We've had a project under contract since 2019 in this area, and we're exploring it further. I want to keep everybody here in the township up to date on what we're doing. We're currently working with Stantec doing environmental studies for 80 megawatt solar. It's plus or minus at this point, and possibly a battery on that site. It will take up about 480 acres, and it's we haven't gone to OPSB yet, but it is a project that would be grandfathered status in the OPSB process.
And you said since 2019?
Yes, it's been under option since 2019, and we filed our PJM applications in, I don't know, 2020 or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's been on the books for a long time. We just, for whatever reasons, we haven't done anything with it. And they said, Mark, figure it out, get it done or don't do it. So I'm out here to figure it out and figure out where we're going to go with it.
Okay,
So
How many megawatts was that again, Mark?
it's 80 megawatts plus or minus.
Okay.
So possibly a 40 megawatt battery, which may be a 160 hour battery kind of thing.
That falls under the 150 with the Ohio Power Sitting Board, correct? I meant,
So it's only 50 megawatts, so this would go to the power
Okay.
cycle board.
So I will be around periodically over the next several months. We're going to see what we can do. We've got a timeline to try to get it submitted by the end of the year. If anybody wants to ask me questions, I'll be in contact. I don't have business cards with me. I don't know what I was thinking this evening. I drove off without business cards.
what's your number on
My
that?
cell phone, my personal cell phone number
Go ahead.
is 614-668-5906. And I'm based in Columbus. I've been here for 20-something years.
Okay.
I used to work for AEP Generation. And, I like renewables, so I got into renewables. Probably killed my 5 minutes.
No, you're
Appreciate your
good.
time today.
You're good.
And
Thank you for stopping by and
Oh,
letting
you're
us know about
Thanks.
this.
Thank you, Mark.
nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
I think. Mr. Feathers, you were next.
Oh, I was stopping to see about, I had bought a very small stone, and I was just coming to see if, about my refund.
She has-
I just got a text.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he said it would be sent to me this week. So.
No, we have it now, so,
Oh, praise the Lord.
yeah. So if you don't mind, we're going to need a special motion to go ahead and distribute this check to Ted. So I'll entertain a motion to distribute payment or reimbursement check to Ted Feathers.
I move to approve it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. We can give him his check.
Okay, and would you just put on, so reimbursement check is for Ted Feathers, was that the Cassie Stilgus?
Correct.
For the
Is that right?
Cassie Stilgus Foundation, is that the one?
Yes.
This one.
Very good.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Did you see it out there?
Go buy some groceries.
Did you see the stone out
Yeah,
there?
it looks
Okay.
very nice. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Deb.
All right, take care. See you, Miss Jeff.
Joe, Mrs. Jackson, I mean, did you guys have?
Yeah, we want to go back to about the property at 1264 South Avenue that belonged to Robert Dunleavy.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? Is it 1264 South Avenue?
I think it's, yeah, I think you're right, yeah, I think you're right on the other.
Okay,
With the animal issue that's still over there, and now we have rats over there, and it's a hazard, and that house needs to be tore down. There's $550,000 lien on it from Medicare. Okay, so I know, and I can't get anywhere with it, because nobody seems to know what attorney is up underneath it. The recorder's office has nothing on it. Probate court has nothing on it. And so I'm at a standstill, but I want the house taken down. It needs to be taken down. The property needs to be cleaned up. I mean, I was willing at one point to try to take it over, but I can't get nowhere.
You
Question.
wouldn't want to do that legally. I mean, you just don't want to take something, you know.
Right.
Um,
I mean, they told me I could take care of it for 21 years and I could have it, but hell, I ain't got 21 years.
Not many of us do, so.
You said you couldn't find, where did you get the $550,000?
That shows at the recorder's office, okay, but it does not show, it shows that Medicare has a lien, but it does not show the attorney that's over that case. There's nobody to get a hold of.
Well, I think the Medicare attorney, I mean, I can give you his name, it's Stanley Evans. That's who he's the special attorney general who does collections for Medicare. But the practice of the Department of the State Department for Medicare recoupment is they put a lien on it and they wait for another entity, whether another lien holder, to foreclose on it, and they'll take whatever they
Yeah,
get after
a
that.
percentage, yeah.
So I do a lot of the tax foreclosures, and so we're usually the ones that will foreclose on it, and we will add the Department of Medicare in, and Stanley Evans usually is the one that comes, and he'll just tell us what the amount is.
Right.
And that, when you sell it at public sale in foreclosure, you know, we get our tax, our local
percentage.
property tax
Yeah.
first, and then it goes to the other lien holders after that. So let's say it brings $100 more than the taxes and costs for the
Right.
court and things. That's what Medicare gets, even if they have a $550,000.
Okay, but
lien.
there's still, there is 20 years of non-paid taxes on that property.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand why they have not foreclosed against it already. And then my understanding is it takes them 18 months to get that to where they can proceed with that.
Only on a
Yeah.
bad year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
usually it takes about a year to get it done reasonably, and clearly we have to publish, because if the person is deceased,
Yeah.
We have to give notice. I don't know how much notice it gets in the
Right.
Urbana Daily Citizen newspaper, but that's constructive notice. That's what the law says we have to do. And I assume that Mr. Dunleavy or
I think
Ms.
both
Dunleavy has,
deceased, Joe.
they're
Are
done.
they both deceased?
They're both
Yeah.
deceased, and even her daughter that was supposed to be over the probate lives in Urbana, but nobody knows where she lives at in Urbana.
Well,
Okay.
and I think probably if there is a really high Medicare lien or Medicaid lien on it, I'm sure if the heirs went to an attorney, they would go, well, there's nothing for you to get, so you might as well not
I
do
bought a piece of
anything.
property similar to that. They wouldn't talk to the people that owned the property, their family. They dealt with me, because I was an outsider, but they wouldn't deal with the inside of the family. They wouldn't allow them to go and try to purchase out the property. I had to come from the outside, come in to do that, and they dealt with me. But I haven't got nobody to go deal with.
So, so the treasurer, she has a list of properties.
Yeah.
And if the taxes are fairly low on that property, if they valued it pretty low, it takes a few years to get it up to the point where they're going to foreclose. But it's probably in the pipeline
I
somewhere.
asked her about that, I stopped there.
Okay. You
Karen
talked to
Bailey, yeah.
Robin?
Yeah, Robin Miller and Karen Bailey, both
Okay.
different departments. And they're just sitting still on it. Nobody's gonna do anything with it. So I'm requesting that the county take the house down. That they go in and do what needs to be done, because there is animals, it's a safety issue. We have houses on both sides, you got rats this big, bigger than cats running around there.
Wow.
In and out of that house. I've been here before about it, but the rats wasn't the issue like they are now.
Have you talked to the health department too?
Nope, I've not, that's the only place I haven't went yet, okay? But everybody kept telling me, go back out to the county, go back to the Urbana Township and get them to take the house down if nothing else. I mean,
So there is a first step before you all can even look at taking down a house. And I'm sorry the fire chief isn't here, because he's one of the people. So the fire department, the health commissioner, and building regs. One of those people can go out, look at the property,
That's what it
and say to the trustees, yeah, this is an unsafe, uninhabitable, unsecure property.
I mean, the roof
So-
fell in part of
Oh,
the house. I mean,
okay.
it is uninhabitable, you know, I mean, it's completely, I know whoever goes, they're gonna say it's, needs to
Yeah.
come down.
So that's what they would probably have to do, so maybe.
I can't direct them to ask them to go do that, because they're not gonna do that for me. It's gotta come from somebody here.
Well, yeah,
So
they
Bill,
would, they would.
We
do
just
that.
need to stop up the,
But why would the township put money into this? Why doesn't Robin just foreclose? That's what she has her
Yeah, I
DTAC
have a
money
meeting
on it.
tomorrow with Robin. I can ask her
That's silly.
before we take any action. But in that time, I'll ask.
I mean, I'm
somebody
still
about
willing.
it.
If I could give a couple, $3,000 for the property, I'd do it myself. I wouldn't mind to tear the house down, okay, but I'm not gonna give an astronomically amount, $550,000, hell, I'm going to Alaska if I got that kind
Well,
of
you're,
money.
yeah, it's, so if it does not sell for even the taxes and the cost, let's say they come to $10,000.
Yeah.
So then it goes to auditor sale after that.
Yeah.
So that it can sell, and Mr. Sizer has been involved in those type of things, where it can sell for, at the minimum, $50. That's what the
Right.
auditor sells it for.
Yeah,
But you have to go through the sheriff's sale process first.
right.
And then, then we wait, and then it goes to auditor's sale. And we don't get too many properties that go to auditor sale, so we don't have too many auditor sale because they sell at sheriff's sale. So, because
So-
that's just the way, the market is going in Champaign County,
so you're gonna say something to Robin?
yeah, I'll
so-
talk to her tomorrow.
And if not, then I need to go up and talk to Dana and then see if he'll go out and make a condemn the property.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the type of property. I mean, if there are animals, I'd probably talk to Gabe at the health department, or, they can all three you out. Sorry,
But I need someone to-
Miss Dean Orloop to do it. But you can have him go look at it, and then,
But once I have one of these guys and one of them condemn it, then they can get onto the state list as far as,
well, what they can, that's if that's basically for you. That's the prerequisite for you to declare it a nuisance. They're the experts. They're supposed to tell you that it's problematic and needs to be taken down.
Okay.
So, but that is at your cost, and then your cost goes on the tax rolls. So, what I would not want, that's why I'm like, let me talk to Robin first before, you can do that, I'll talk to you about
that,
it.
yeah, that's fine.
Because it just lessens your costs.
Yeah.
If you wanna pay it at the sheriff's sale, and you're not fighting other people who, a lot, even, anywhere in Urbana is probably gonna be more valuable than a house
house,
that
yeah. Fall down,
needs
yeah.
to come down, so,
Yeah,
Okay.
but you have the 10,000 and getting it down,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so let me talk to it all.
Okay,
Okay,
And
that's,
give me the address again,
12, oh gosh,
1264.
58, is that right?
1264 road.
who's the
No,
owner, do you think?
Robert Dunleavy.
Dunlevy.
Did you say Robin or Robert?
Robert.
Robert.
Robert and, yeah.
Okay.
1254
1254,
South.
okay. What's the street?
South Avenue.
South, okay. Okay.
That's the one, I got one more.
Oh,
okay, go ahead. Yeah,
okay.
Where I was gonna redo the house on Edgewood Avenue. I have since taken it down.
yeah, it looks great.
Okay, well, I'm not done there yet. What I wanna know is what my insides of me graveling that whole property and setting in a food trailer in there. And,
That's a zoning question, Joe. I
Okay.
can't tell you that.
okay, but I have no issues here, right?
It's gotta go through zoning.
Yeah.
And it's gonna
Okay.
go through zoning and BZA, and depending on whether it's zoned for that or not.
Yeah.
If not, you have to get a variance, and then it could be a lot of steps, or,
Okay, well, I wanna just start here because I was here, and.
Yeah, well, that's
okay.
fine. I appreciate
Okay, so then I need to go through, building and zoning.
Well,
yeah, you need to go through Sean, through our zoning. You just need to
Okay.
call and leave your name and
Do you
number.
have his number?
It's on the website, I think. What is our number here, 484? Yeah, you're just gonna call and leave a message.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
He picks it up off off the zoning answering
Okay.
machine.
Then I guess we're done, right? Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, just want that,
But Joe, once he talks to you about that, then, hey, anything that you do to bring some business to that side of town or anything else like that, good for
And there's a
you.
lot of traffic up and down that road.
Dude, that's awesome.
A lot of people leave from them factories, and I thought, well, that's a good.
I think-
I own one, so I might as well try to put it there.
I think it's, like I said, good for, and just explain that to Sean. But it all deals with zoning and the zoning map about
Okay.
what kind of businesses
Yeah.
can be there.
Okay.
So,
and you'll also need to get a health department
Yeah.
certificate. When I would go do zoning first
Yeah,
to see if
okay. And then what certificate of what?
you would need to go food license.
Oh, yeah, I
at
know,
the-
yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Danny, take care, right? You too.
Take care.
Don't take no wooden nickels.
Gonna move on to old business then, you guys. Anybody got any old business? Roger?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Harrigan?
No, sir.
Miss Sandy?
No.
New business then. Got a couple items here. First one we're gonna work on is the auditor's resolution that has been given to Sandy. Sandy, you wanna explain it, please?
I gave you all my papers, so.
I'm sorry.
So Karen Bailey gave us the resolution accepting the rate, and we need to have that passed by September 30th and back to the auditor's office. It's basically what the auditor released their schedule of what they believe our inside-outside millage will be. It's an estimate for next year, and we have to, what we'll get from our levy. And so we have to, I can pass it around if you guys didn't look at it. I left it out here, but.
Yeah, we did pass it around.
Okay,
Okay.
so we need to pass this resolution tonight to accept this the resolution accepting the rates.
And you said that's her estimate, and her estimate's pretty usually dead on.
Yeah. Mhm. It's pretty close.
Well, guys, I'll look for.
So it would be resolution, 2024-007W. And it is, for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2025. So I'll just read this into the
Thank you.
record.
Thank you.
In accordance with the provisions of law, the Board of Trustees has previously adopted a tax budget for the next succeeding fiscal year, which we did that, I believe, at our last meeting. The Budget Commission has certified its action. They're onto this board together with an estimate by the county auditor of the rate of each tax necessary to be levied by the board, and what part thereof is without and what part within the 10 mil tax limitation by the Board of Trustees of Champaign County, Urbana Township, that the amount and rates as determined by the Budget Commission in its certification be and the same are hereby accepted, and be it further resolved that there be and is hereby levied on the tax duplicate of said township the rate of each tax necessary to be levied within and without the 10 mil limitation as follows. She gives the Schedule A, which I passed around. It has our EMS levy. It has what inside millage, general fund, inside millage, road and bridge, inside millage, fire levy totaling $248,800. Outside millage fire is $248,800. Outside millage for the fire is $268,900. So, if someone wants to move to accept that resolution.
Guys, we'll take a motion for acceptance.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion, guys? There's a person to ask, or there's a person to ask over there too. You know all of about the auditor's office too, and
The millage,
yeah.
well, they're just telling you, inside millage is your 1%, is your share of that 10 mil, and then anything that is voted in is outside of your inside millage.
Okay.
So that's always separate, so you know that.
Urbana's is 1.531 of that.
I think usually the schools.
Get all.
I think it's most of the voted and unvoted 10 mil
Yeah,
limitation.
it's.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you take a vote on that?
Nope,
don't think
nope.
Okay.
I was asked for discussion, and there was a. Hey, seeing that, proceed to vote, guys. All those in favor of accepting the motion as read, vote signify by saying aye.
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 All approved, Ms. Cindy.
Okay, thank
Ms. Cindy,
you. You do not. No,
okay.
it doesn't have. Well, I'm gonna have you sign here. She doesn't have us like laid out that way. But I think right by where I wrote your name, go ahead and sign it because I think you do need to sign it since it's a resolution. There's another page, Roger, that goes with that.
They just go together, man. Burr. I cannot believe
I'm
you
hot.
guys-
I've got my jacket off.
I'm like, it feels good in here.
You guys are crazy.
Thank you.
No, maybe Sandy. You got 2 curves there.
Oh, okay.
Stand up
Fix
roll.
that.
So going back to the
Hey, sorry about
the
that.
fund that's available to take down abandoned properties and stuff like that,
Oh,
that's a state.
yeah, we had that for that program that, AG did it for a while and then we got it through.
Yeah, they've not released the money for the ones yet.
Yeah. Did you guys get in on that one?
There was one in the township that I think that,
I don't think that they approved it, did they?
Well, I
I
don't
think we
think
got
we
picked.
approved yet. We had a
Oh.
list.
that's, they were just talking about that at the LUC meeting, and they said that there's like two counties in Ohio that's gotten money released. So they don't know what's gonna
And
happen.
it wasn't really, it's not competitive in that it gave every county a certain amount, and then if you didn't utilize it, then it would go back in and kind of be redistributed to
So that's
other
not
places.
in a House bill or Senate bill to redo that again this year that you know of? Is that
Not that
right?
I'm aware of.
Huh.
I was thinking, it came out with that, was it Department of Building?
I
Remember,
thought,
but yeah, I haven't heard a thing about it.
well, I'm just,
I know, gosh, it's probably been April or May, people were talking about, when's it gonna be done? And I think we've got the list and kind of the priority and seeing how much money it's gonna take. We did a terrible thing last time and we followed the rules. And so we put in what we kind of a little bit overestimated, how much it was gonna cost to take down all those, and came up right to the amount that we could take, and then when we bid it, it was a lot less money. And so there are other places, so let's say it's $500,000, they listed enough for a basic 600,000, and because it was kind of a lower price on the bids, they got all their list done. So it was like at the $500,000. We are a little short on that, so.
well, I know that
unfortunately.
they were talking about that because, of course, Logan County needs all the money they can with the tornado damage of an Indian Lake. They were hoping to be able to, and that's when they were talking about, they said, well, no one's gotten any money released, period, yet, so.
And I think,
And Brad was saying that they don't know what the holdup is, but
yeah, the last time we did it, I think they released it in May, and then we had to put it out for bid for the asbestos, and then the other portion of it,
Yeah.
to take it down.
anyway, thank you. Sorry. Are you all done? Are we
Yeah.
ready? Can
Yes,
we-
sir.
Can we keep going? Moving on to other new business. Matt, you had something that you asked to be on
Yeah.
new business, so let's,
I wanted to suggest an idea for public comment guidelines for Urbana Township meetings for future, obviously. It'd be, ideally it'd be set in January, but January's a little bit far off, so I thought I'd get it going now. At least an idea on it. I did a little bit of benchmarking on some other counties, and some of the things that they do are very similar to what we were doing already. It's just a little more concrete. And some of the ideas that I'm proposing to go with is basically a public comment period, the speaking time limit, the order of speakers, the subject matter, the order and the decorum that we go through, and then a follow-up and then a review period probably at the beginning of the year we do that, if we need to do any modifications or any additions. So But I can give you guys a copy. I think I have given you a copy already. But if you need me to go in more detail, I can spell it out right now if you like.
Anything?
Off the top of my head, though, I would say it's always nice to have, it's kind of like having a written policy as opposed to a verbal policy. Everybody kind of knows the rules, so
Yeah.
it's always kind of nice to know so that you, so that people don't feel as though they're being treated differently, or they just understand what the process is.
So this should be voted in and.
Well, I think whenever everybody's agreeable with it, yeah.
And if it isn't, then could that be put on the website also? Is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, at least in writing, I think it's
Yeah.
always good to.
Basically, it's a lot of things that we're doing now. Public comments to be allowed during a designated time. Comment periods usually at the end of the meeting. And then the board chair can determine a specific time or order for the speaker at that discretion, similar to what he did today. All right. Speaking time limits, 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes in Union County as well, in Allen Township, and in numerous other townships. And order of speakers, basically is how and when they sign in. If they sign in, we'll go in that order. So ensures a fair and transparent process. Subject matters brief and to the point, and all comments not directed to the board or all comments should be directed to the board and not to individual members or attendees. And it just goes in more detail, and I think you guys have the copy there, but I can give one to Dan as well, if there anybody else wants one. But yeah, it goes into all kinds of more detail, and a lot of it was just what I've found from other townships. Basically, if there was any discretion as far as depending on the nature of the issues raised, inappropriate language, personal attacks, disruptive behavior, anytime the board feels the subject matter individuals presenting the information are creating a hostile environment, that individual will be asked to stop and leave the building if the individual refuses. For their own request, the board, the sheriff's department deputy will be called to escort that individual out and off the grounds. And then I like this point. Disruption of the meeting is a misdemeanor of the 4th degree, revised codes 2917-12. I thought that was kind of neat that they had that. So I thought we could utilize that as well.
Was that at another township's?
The revised
rules?
code,
Yeah.
Yep, it was similar to theirs.
I think there's a lot of places, and I get asked in other townships about agendas, getting on the agenda. So I think that's sometimes difficult in kind of the local, and even when I deal with that at the commission, it's always good to know who's coming on the agenda so you can get documents or kind of be prepared to ask questions. But then you hate to keep somebody from
Right.
talking to go, oh yeah, you're supposed to call us, and especially because you meet now once a month, then somebody has to get a hold of somebody to get on the agenda.
Yeah, on the
So I think
agenda.
this is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's a guideline. I mean, it's something that we can review every year and say, hey, this is going well, or this isn't working too good. Let's try this method. So it's pretty simple. I got a couple more copies. Jimmy? That's really it right now, Blair, as far
Okay,
as
thanks, sir.
just some simple guidelines.
Well, you want to look over them and then we'll talk about next meeting?
Okay.
Thanks for bringing this up.
Yeah, I think that was good.
And
Is there any other items of new business?
I do,
Oh, yep. No.
unless you guys do. You, do you have something else?
Yes, no, ma'am.
Okay. So I just want to put on record that Mark Runyon wanted to donate back his zoning commission pay. So it's $15, but hold. I was sitting here in shirt sleeves.
You need a space heater or something?
Mark
done mine.
Runyon, yeah. So when I,
You just want to donate it back?
yes, so he's the reason he did not have a check for $15 for that zoning commission meeting is that he did not want it. So the,
You might get one every 2 or 3 years.
yeah, the next thing I have is, so, we haven't gotten anything, or I haven't gotten anything from, the auditor state about this fraud reporting system, but we did at the county, so I knew about it, and I had my, pre-audit meeting, and I asked them about it to verify that all township people have to do this, and so everybody, not just us four, but Richard and Sean also have to complete this training. It's a video, and I will email it to you. And so there's basically a worksheet that I have to fill out and keep track of for our audit that says that you have reviewed it. So I've completed mine, and I'll give everyone one of these sheets. So once you complete the training, you will get a certificate at the end. So you'll need to print your certificate, and then you need to fill out this form and give them back to me. So Roger, if you want to meet with me sometime and do it on my computer, we can do so. If Richard wants to do the same, if somebody wants to tell.
Timeframe on that?
September 24th.
28th.
Oh, is it 28th? I thought it was the
Is that
24th.
countywide? Is that?
It is statewide.
Statewide.
They've
It
just
is.
put the local, like county, township schools, and I think that's it. The municipalities doing it till September 28th, and then they give the state a little longer, apparently.
Yeah.
So it is very quick, even
It
though.
is 6 minutes.
Even though
6 minutes.
It's
even
6
though,
minutes.
Well, I'll probably have Cindy do that.
attorneys don't have to do it,
Okay.
I thought, well, I should probably see it, and
Look,
so
I'm gonna give you
I did
each
it.
the paper. So when I'll keep Richard and Sean's, but I'll email you each the link then, so
Thank you.
that you have it, and you basically just click it on and it comes up, and you watch the little video, and at the end your certificate comes up. You print out your certificate and give it to me, and sign that paper.
Yeah, and so anybody who is an employee or an elected official does it. If you have
Yes.
boards that are just appointed by you,
Okay.
that usually, they're not deemed to be an employee.
Zoning
So-
appeals or something like that doesn't have to do it. Okay.
And then the final thing that I have is I had my risk assessment meeting with Urbana, and I want to pass this around. It's something that you guys are just going to have to read through. So they made some different suggestions. They're basically policies that they believe that should be implemented, and they want us to review it, and then so they have their recommendations, and you can review them. They want volunteers to sign a hold harmless form. I don't know if we have a volunteer, but we sometimes get them from Job and Family Services. So it's kind of like that. Whenever we have a vendor, I send them a independent contractor form. Basically, they're acknowledging that they aren't an employee here, and they hold the township harmless from if they get injured, whatever.
I
And
have
then-
a volunteer.
Do you have one? Okay. And they sent me some samples.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they sent me a sample of a whole harmless agreement that we can use. So, and then the second thing was they believe that everyone should have a job description, so that we only have 2 people, and they have sample job descriptions that we can do if you choose to. They believe we should have a written sexual harassment policy, which I'd started that before. I don't know. They believe we should have one. We do not have a sexual harassment policy. Let's see. There's just a couple other things. So on the documented monthly sign inspections. So I believe, do we do a quarterly sign inspection here? Go around and see what, so they believe that the signs should be inspected monthly, and that should be documented. So,
What kind of signs?
like
Stop
stop
signs
signs.
and-
Oh, stop signs.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you're talking about your notices and things from
No.
PERS and, not PERS, but the,
So, they believe that there should be a written driving policy, which sets up the number of points a driver is allowed to have on their license, and the number of moving citations they're allowed to have in a year. Now, we do this, so it's always Richard, but they will randomly send out a notice that they want a drug test and he has to go, and so I'll notify him. That's through the township, the Champaign County Township Association. I'll notify him, hey, you gotta go. And he will do that. But they also want us to do this motor vehicle record check, which if we do that, then they will, I think they cost $35, and then they will refund that money to us if we do this license check on them. But if you have a policy,
that
then
mean?
if someone picks up a speeding ticket, you would see if they have any points on their license.
a record check that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, if you had a policy, then it would say like, you have to notify us if you get a speeding ticket or something like that. There's samples in here too. So then they said install secondary. I don't know what this is because I didn't talk to her about this, but they were out here going around with install secondary containment measures for the above ground storage tank. I don't know what that is. That was one of their things.
do we have an above ground, like a propane tank or something, or what, or gas tank or?
There's a fuel tank and a propane
Oh.
tank. But they're double walled, so.
You see, and they're talking about single wall tanks.
Yeah,
I
see,
wonder
we-
if we could put that, if
They're
they're
double-walled.
double walled in the response, and we can put
Yeah.
that they're double walled.
We told them that day. That
Oh,
was,
really?
Yeah, they were the ones that was talking about. This is the whole thing that kicked in with the signs too. About they wanted an area around our welder, and they said, "Do you allow the public into this shop?" It's like, not usually. They said, well, there should be no public into this shop.
Okay.
So that was part of getting the signs and getting the public out and coming in that door too. That was, I mean,
Okay.
they came in and they asked us all this. I mean, they wanted to see where our welding curtains were. And I meant all this. I mean, they were, that was,
Then they wanted install barriers to protect the above ground storage tanks.
yeah, that's the fuel tanks. And we told them
Okay.
that they're double wall tanks.
Okay. And then conduct annual drivers training. And they have training videos available on their
Okay.
website at no cost. So that's something that
Oh, that's
whoever's
easy.
going to drive a vehicle should probably look into that. But I'm going to leave this here. So they want back from us, like for you to review it. And if you're going to take any of their actions, they would like to know what actions you're going to take. And then they give a sample on all of these policies that they believe that we should have. They give a sample for you to look at. And it sounds like Jane has some, and I know I have the sexual harassment, a sample sexual harassment policy that's probably way more in depth than we need. But anyway, so that was the last thing. I'm gonna leave that here. I'll pass it over here to Matt if you guys want to review it, and then we can get back to them.
Is that a common thing they do across all townships?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, at the county, we of course said that they're always wanting us to put in certain policies and things like that. They just check it every once in a while. And a lot of times, kind of like here with the double walled, even though, they're just doing it across the board, and it's difficult for us out here in rural, Champaign County that, you're talking about 1 or 2 employees, and it's not like you have a big administration, even with a municipality would have, where you're worried about that. But I do think the volunteer, a lot of times you do have schools, and other people who, are gonna be volunteering.
Yeah. We've got a 4-H club that wants
Yeah.
to do something with it. They want to take over a road for trash pickup.
Yeah,
So-
I would say, Sandy, you may, want to, scan to me those waivers of liability or the hold harmless, because our TARMA is gonna want it to be as close to what the samples they give that also work for me, yes. So, it's like two different attorneys think two different things,
Okay.
it's better.
Well, I mean, I would probably, if they decide them, I would just retype them so that we have our own little thing, because they just give me hard copies.
Okay.
But I can probably actually email them, maybe get the Word documents. Okay.
Well, none of that's a bad idea.
You could send them to me as PDF, I could convert them if you want,
Okay.
and just send it back to you.
Okay.
At least tell
No,
me which
it's
one that
not.
you
And
like.
and there's
You like
another
too.
thing, like that we also need to update, and especially since now that we're taking these videos, is our is it the RC2? Is that what it's called? The
RC2.
Yeah.
Mhm. You want it on your records retention
Yes.
policy.
Okay.
So that So
So
we need to
we-
review that as
Yeah,
well.
we should be looking, I don't think, since you should be able to hopefully, get rid of those so that you're not leaving things and needing to keep, loads of videos when you've already made your record with your minutes, so. We don't need
Oh.
rooms of, storage material and things like that.
Well, digital, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Trust me, so used to do, I was helping an entity, and they had to keep their project, keep the video permanently. It was in beta. It was a beta thing. So, and they thought, oh, beta is just top of the line. And so you had to get it to a point where it went from beta, they had to do beta to something else to get it then on the cloud. And you hope that you don't lose it, but you do have to, if you keep those very long, sometimes they become, whatever media they're on, even digitally, that it becomes obsolete.
Very good.
Okay, that's all I had.
It's good. Well, Matt, you take that home first,
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to read
and
it.
then pass it to Roger and pass it to me, and flag the ones that you like and the ones you don't like. Because if it can save us money or something like that, that's
That's good.
great.
Interesting.
Is that the policies? The policies?
Yeah.
Some of the examples.
So I do have to say, it's always good to pass a policy. It has to be a policy that if it has some requirements for you, you should, follow that policy or those requirements. So, you may, if you have some type of harassment policy, you should also have the process in which to deal with that you're not surprised then. So I haven't seen the policy yet, but
Okay.
that's, any type of policy that's a grievance type policy, you should have a process in place as well.
Process to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, how do you get the complaint?
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna do after you get the complaint? And, so that everybody's kind of protected.
Thank you.
Very good.
More than thought we'd bite off into, so. Anyway. Anybody else got any other new business, please? Now's the time to talk. Matt,
No, sir.
Sandy,
Nope.
bring up our next meeting's gonna be September 16th at 5 o'clock. I'm gonna take a motion to approve the bill payments and that allows Sandy to distribute her mail checks.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All approve. Last thing on the agenda then is, or on my list, it's not an agenda, my list is the public comments. Oh, Anthony, did you have something that you wanted to bring up as business-wise, or you just have comments?
Just comments.
Okay. Dan, you were signed in first before Anthony, so I'm gonna allow you to have the courtesy to go first. You have 5 minutes. Anthony, we have a new policy, 5 minutes on all comments.
Not enough time?
5 minutes.
Minutes?
Yep.
That's not enough time to do anything.
5 minutes. Anyway,
Yeah, so the chief does a wonderful job of giving those quarterly reports. And I was curious if you've ever received the first 2024 semi-annual sheriff's report.
we have not.
I don't
Do you know?
recognize it, no.
Do you know that? I do not know that.
Has anyone inquired about it?
We've never ever gotten a sheriff's report, period, so.
So I guess what I was saying is, since he said he was going to do them semi-annually, if anyone has followed up to see when you could expect that, since we're already into August.
Yeah.
And regarding the training classes that came up in discussion, since taking office, what training classes have each of you taken?
I've done whatever's been required and what Sandy's asked us to
Can you
do.
identify them?
I did almost all that the first year that I was in office, so.
I'm sorry,
I did all of those the first year that I was in office.
and none since then.
None since then, no.
And Matt,
Yeah, I've taken one in January or February. It was,
which one was that?
Is that like a new?
yeah, it was all a new trustee type thing, but it was, can't remember that?
They took the public records.
Yeah, public records.
Training.
Public records training.
Yeah, we try to do that. I need to
Yeah.
figure out, is I try to hit
Yeah.
township trustees and county so that they kind of get them at the beginning and maybe at the end of their terms if they haven't, or if
Yeah,
they've been around for a long time and they just need to get it before they start their
Yeah.
new term, so.
okay.
Yeah.
So let's throw in pinch on his time. Go ahead.
Sorry.
And that's all I have at this point.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anthony, you're up then, my friend.
Want to come up there? Or?
You can do whatever you want to, sir.
So can I politely complain about the 5-minute time limit? Because you really can't convey, how would you want more information if I had to convey more information? You know?
We want you, if you give us something, I mean, we want to think about it, and we'll talk about it. And then, again, let's hear what you've got, Anthony,
Okay,
please.
well, I just want to tell you something that I've been dealing with. So I'll try to be, it's a long story. So
Okay.
my neighbor to the left of me sold their house. They were in the process of selling their house. And a while back, I was trying to take a tree down on my property that had fallen. And they had randomly gone back there occasionally just to walk. And I didn't care until I was taking the tree down and he ran back there and told the guy, stop, this was his property. And I went over, I'm like, no, not really. This is my property. You can go on the Champaign County Auditor website, blah, 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 blah. So, so long story short, they kept coming back on the property. They kept encouraging people when they were selling the house, and when they were selling the house, they were indicating there were trails and they were basically publicizing my property as theirs. So, well, we had to get lawyers involved and stuff like that, and ended up having to pay to get a survey person to come out, mark the line, and say, okay, here's where the line is and whatnot, so this is your property, this is our property, and stuff like that. And it was a whole big ordeal, and today, now, I'm trying to figure out what's going on today, because painters were over there. I was thinking I'm trying to figure out if the house is transferred yet or not. They were working on the house, and then all of a sudden we heard these big explosions. I ran over there. They said, oh, we heard it from over there and something. And so I don't know. And I asked, are you I'm the new neighbor? And I don't know if the kid was just giving me a line. These are my cousins, they're sort of a minority group and whatnot, but I'm gonna try to be judgmental. I don't know if they were giving me a line or what. They're like, this is when we're refurbishing the house. I'm like, okay. So, long story short, there's gotta be a better way to do these property line things, because it was basically, what?
I was just saying, I mean, how would you propose the property lines, Anthony?
I don't know. I'm just sort of telling you my experience because, go ahead.
You got your survey.
Yeah.
You know where your line is.
Right.
They should know where their line is.
Right. I shouldn't have to pay though, is that the thing? It's like, it was this whole big ordeal that I don't know if this should be done at the time. I mean, at the time when you get your house, it's like an estimate where the property line is, but you're not allowed to use that for legal stuff. The guy found the pins. I was amazed that pins still existed.
Pins are down there.
Pins are down.
I think, everybody always thinks that the wood, the temporary wood with the flag on it is, and so somebody takes it out, but they're a few inches down. They should be able to, usually the engineer goes through with a metal detector and finds
that's
it.
what we did.
So you should be able to find your, I know nobody has a metal detector laying around in their house, but.
And we found it
Right.
and marked the line, but I'm just thinking and I talked to the cops and the one thing, when she came over and talked to me, she's like, because I put some signs up that said, no trespassing. Because I'm like, okay, I didn't mind, but now you went on my property, you made a big deal, I was trying to take the tree down, privilege revoked. I put some do not trespass, and they're like, no, you have to go prove that before you can put the signs up. Is that correct? Before you put the signs up, you have to prove that that's your property line.
Well, I can't give you legal advice, but I mean, I think if you feel comfortable with putting up a sign and you believe it's on your property, you're absolutely able to do that, but you're at a risk if it isn't your
Right.
property. But I mean, you should be able to, I don't know back there. I know that, based on the other issue, that I know Briarwood is kind of, they have unusual
Yeah.
lots. It's not like
It's not like
a city
standard
lot.
square.
It's not a big square, yeah. So,
Anyhow, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. That was just sort of like, there's got to be a better. I'm not asking you guys to do anything. I'm just telling you my story.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend money. Just there's got to be a better way to solve some of these property disputes and something. So I mean, it was only about $750 for us, but it was just unreasonable. And I get that they were trying to make their property look good for selling the house, but they were just saying that the property wasn't theirs, and in the end I was right anyway. So that's that. And the other thing is, right before I came here, that's when we heard these noises, and I talked to the sheriff, and he's like, people can just shoot off guns, they don't have to have a backstop. Is that true? People can just shoot guns off, they don't have to have a backstop? I was told that you have to have a backstop.
It's a sheriff's question, I think.
sure, good, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more the criminal
Yeah.
side of my life. So,
Okay, yeah, because that's,
it's always a little scary when you're out in the country and you hear guns
Well,
go off, but.
I get that we're around the country, but just because we're around the country doesn't mean you throw away decency and reasonable safety procedures.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying, I would say out there that would really be kind of concerning. I'm just saying, people out in the country with larger lots, they shoot off guns, and it is a little, I
get
live
it.
in town, so that kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, I get it. These lots are a little bit smaller, and that's where he was like,
Yeah.
you could come out here and shoot on the ground, and I couldn't find him. Like, oh my gosh. So I don't know, I doubt there's anything to change that, but the main reason why, I was just gonna come tell you about the property line issue, and that was it, so.
Well, we appreciate it. It's just hard for the township to we just can't get involved in, property conflicts with neighbors. I mean, there's nothing we can do. I mean, we have no say in that at all.
Is it all legal? Is it all based upon what the lawyers say then, or?
Well, it's a property right. It's
Yeah.
your property right versus their property rights, and where your line is, and you have a description, which probably may or may not have a survey attached to it, and that's what you own.
Right.
So, you know, if it was near the road, then they could, be involved,
Right.
so.
All right,
That's all we got.
all right, thank you, gentlemen.
Sorry.
See, 5 minutes
A
was.
plate of cookies for new neighbors always helps.
I am going to do that tomorrow,
Okay.
but the question is, I don't know if these were just the kids getting in line. The previous owner, I told them, please don't shoot off fireworks. I'm hoping he wasn't trying to just be a douche and say, hey, when you're done painting, shoot off some fireworks. I'm hoping that isn't the case.
I think pie worked for them the last time. So cookies might work for your neighbor.
Whatever it takes to just be a friendly neighbor. All right,
Thanks,
Yeah.
Anthony.
thank you, guys.
Very good.
Bye, Anthony.
Looking for a motion to adjourn then.
A movie adjourned.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.